All right, everybody, I am here with Mr. Matt Clifford, who is one of 6 candidates vying to become the next Ada County Sheriff. So the first question is, Ada County is the largest populated county in Idaho. It's continuing to explode, obviously, here in the Treasure Valley. What made you, once Sheriff Bartlett retired, what drove you to go, hey, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring to become the sheriff of the biggest county in the state of Idaho?
So I had some plans over the next 2 years to try and cultivate my career into becoming sheriff of Ada County. So kind of thrust upon me, I had to make a decision whether I do it now or never type thing. But looking at unexpected vacating of the position, I really enjoy our culture, and I think that it's best to elevate the agency to have an internal applicant who they know, who creates stability for them, and take the current culture and kind of elevate it and improve growth. I'm a known entity to them. I'm a known entity to a lot of our stakeholders in the criminal justice system. So for me, it made sense that I could step in there and do the administrative part. I understand how we work with the prosecutor's office and IDOC and the other agencies around us, and I just thought it would be probably best for the agency if I stepped in and took up the role.
Okay. The second question is, since the death of George Floyd last year, a lot of eyes have been on the policing community and how the law enforcement interacts with the community and also the use of force.
Sure.
Those are 2 really hot topics right now. How do you believe that Ada County is currently doing with that interaction with the public, maybe with the use of force? Would there be changes that you would want to make if you come in as sheriff, or do you think that they're doing a good job now and you want to continue what has already been set up and in place?
So great question, and I'll just tell a quick little story here. I was talking to 2 San Francisco police officers that were maybe wanting to move here because of how things are going in San Francisco, and they were asking me questions about training and things like that. And a lot of the training that you hear the outcry for, de-escalation training and use of force training and things like that, we've been doing that already for years. So we are already ahead of the game, and we also are not, and we're not even experiencing those things here. So I've always looked at our agency and said, sometimes there's some excitement and sometimes they're not, but we're always prepared for what could happen. And so we're already really prepared for some of those things. When I talked to the San Francisco PD people, said, we just started doing those things. I said, well, we've been doing them for years and it's been working out really well. All of our employees at the agency were required to take de-escalation training, even if you're not a commissioned deputy, because it was good information even with dealing someone at the window in records or in our civil department. So we're ahead of the game, and I will continue obviously to do that, because that's kind of how we operate. We got to just keep moving forward. We can't sit and stay where we're at, because then that's when it bites you. So that's the long answer. Shorter answer, we're ahead of the game on that. We're already doing a lot of that training.
Okay. Last question is, and this kind of comes from our readers, on one of their big concerns is, we are in a obviously very conservative state, a lot of Republicans here, versus currently Congress is controlled by the Democrat Party. There's a Democrat president. What do you see yourself, or what do you think your role is as the sheriff, potentially if things are being done in DC that the citizens here say, hey, we don't agree with that, and they look to you to be that difference or whatever?
Sure.
How do you see your role as the sheriff?
So I'll kind of start out, and I apologize for any long answers I gave you, but you probably like it. But
okay.
but I'm born and raised in Idaho. I mean, I've lived here all my life. I've lived in Ada County 25. I understand how our culture is here in Idaho. I mean, I've lived here all my life, so I understand that we try and do what's right and what's right for the people and for the citizens. I think, you get into that sheriff spot and you have a greater opportunity to do that. It's state statute that the sheriff upholds the Constitution and upholds the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Idaho, enforces the law, keeps the peace. I think the sheriff can also be a lobbyist for making sure Idaho keeps the direction we're going, by influencing those that can influence others, or maybe directly influencing someone at the federal level. I'm not talking about strong arming or anything like that, but if you are going to be the sheriff of the largest agency in Idaho, you should be able to stand up for the largest populated place in Idaho and do what's right, and whether it's a federal government or another local government, and become that, not the shield, but become even the voice for those people. Now, we're not talking about I'm a congressman or a senator or anything like that, but it's still an elected official, and it's an elected official of the largest law enforcement agency. You should make yourself heard, and you should stand up for what's right.
Okay, awesome. So the last thing that we've been doing is you can address the precinct. I think Victor said that about a third of the PCs that showed up today, so there's 2/3 that did not have the opportunity to come today. So this is kind of your chance to give your pitch to them and to the public on why you should be the next sheriff. So
sure,
you can address them there. And
sure. So like I've said before, I have lived in Idaho all my life. I have 21 years experience with the sheriff's office. I understand the sheriff's office values, our culture, and the employees are going to be looking to something that is sustainable and something that will help them work through whatever issue is going to be coming their way. So I understand the agency, how it works, and I also understand the huge responsibility. I understand budget. I have my own budget that I have to do as the Eagle Police Chief right now, probably more so than the sheriff does. And I also understand that you have to be fiscally responsible, and that you have to make sure that your agency is going to provide good service and treat its employees well. And so that's why I'd really like to get your vote. I have a very, very different style than the previous sheriff, and some different ideals on leading. And I think our agency is going to be elevated because of that. So I'd love to have your vote. Call me if you have my personal number and ask me any questions you want.
Awesome. All right, sir. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.